Hey beautiful ones. Hi, it's Coach Viv. A new video for you today that is seasonal. It can help at any time, but it has a particular focus to the springtime. And I'll tell you why in a moment. So it's going to join together. So this is one of my journals that's available for sale on Amazon. It's just a simple journal with prompts. I have several there. This is the Journal for Black Women. It has 12 different themes. And so what I want to do is introduce the theme this is actually for my patrons, but I wanted to share it with my general audience as well. So the theme this month is rebirth, and I just thought that was great for springtime. So rebirth. Now this is very much for spring, okay? And if you want to accomplish anything in your life, you know that you need to constantly experience a rebirth, right? You have to let go of the old, and I do that when I pull cards for you. That's often the message. You have to let go of the old, and we have to do that, goddess, in every moment. So I just want to read you what I wrote as the prompt for rebirth. And if you would like to purchase it, I will put the link below to Amazon. So rebirth. Have you allowed your life to become stagnant? What areas of your life are feeling dull, repetitive, and just boring? And why? Because that's important. Why are they feeling dull? Why are they feeling stagnant? Okay. Change is the one constant in life. It means that we are alive. That is the theme that I'll be exploring over on Patreon with my patrons. What I want to show you is in the journal, for example, I have different affirmations with the theme. So I have here, I am reborn daily, moment by moment. And that is true. Our cells are constantly dying, goddess, and new cells are constantly being made. Like literally the body you have in 6 months is not composed of the same material that it was, 6 or 8 months before, because it's constantly breaking down and being reshaped. So what I'm going to do though is share with you some of the prompts that I would share over with my patrons. Look for some small ways to add safe changes. So if you really want a rebirth, if you're not happy with where things are in your life right now, you have to change. That's the only thing that will bring in something new. And this goes with the chakras. And I'd love for you to, right now, think of what chakra do you think that this is that very much has to do with rebirth. Okay, I'm going to give you a moment. The clock is ticking. Okay, so rebirth especially is the third chakra, transformation and rebirth. Okay, and I'll say more about that. So hang on. So how can you bring in a rebirth for yourself? So do a small repetitive thing differently for 1 week. Drive a different way to work than usual, right? Like we always go the same way, right? I do that. We always go usually the same route to something. So that's a small repetitive thing. Can you do it differently for 1 week? Maybe every day you go a different way, or you do something that makes that task different, okay? Just to see things differently, just to break up your routine. So choose one repetitive task that you can do differently for a week. If you're really stuck, this sort of gets the energy moving. You could try a new food item that you've always felt was not for you, okay? And notice your reactions and your thoughts. Are there rigid ideas about what you do or don't eat? What your family or the people in your community do or don't eat? I've mentioned this before. I had a family member years ago now. They probably have shifted in their thinking. I know they've kind of expanded, but at the time they said to me, well, we don't eat that particular food. Like Black people don't eat that food. And I was like, that's the stupidest thing. That didn't make sense to me. The logical part of me said, well, it's actually pretty expensive. That's probably why we don't eat it, right? But the family member really hadn't taken it to that depth. And I'm like, I'm sure that's why it's not regularly when you think of like, oh, Black people don't eat this particular food. So again, whatever your background, notice if you have, by just looking at a new food item that you just think is not for you. What's that about? Notice your reactions, notice your thoughts, okay? Goddess, you got to break out. You're not limited. And so again, whatever your group is, there stuff you're told that you just don't do, okay? And finally, for your rebirth, just a little prompt. is listen to a new type of music for an entire week. Maybe you've never listened to merengue or salsa or calypso or classical, like you just don't listen to it. Try listening to that type of music for a whole week. See what happens, okay? So again, these are just little prompts to get you into the rebirth. Now I'm going to share about the chakras. For this energy of spring, it is liver gallbladder. That is the energy that governs the third chakra. And I'm linking two different systems here through my own wisdom. But liver gallbladder is the spring season, and it's a season of a strong upward energy, just like a tree. You know how the trees, the leaves are that bright green of the fresh leaves. That's the energy of springtime. And so what I will do, I'll share a little bit here and I'll share more for my patrons. Symptoms like headache, migraines also come up in the springtime and would be related to this energy. And just irritation, anger, related to the liver gallbladder energy. In the chakra course, I do share about how to clear this energy and how to keep it moving, how to keep it fresh, so that energy doesn't get it's a very powerful, as I said, upward moving energy. If it feels inhibited, it gives you these symptoms like headaches, irritability, and just a sense of frustration, okay? Especially in the spring season. So if you'd like to learn more, either check out the chakra course, which is now enrolling, or become a patron and I'll share more there. We have a live monthly gathering there. And so that's a little bit after the full moon is typically when we gather. So this is the theme, Rebirth. And so you can join now. You can join at any time, the patron circle, and then I'll just explore that theme a little more with them during the live. Watch this playlist now. It's on the third chakra. It tells you everything you need to know. That is the chakra, Manipura chakra, that is related to the spring season. So watch this next.